Hey guys, here's the Air Wings Wing Surfer from NitroPlanes, and I just completed the build of this kit. The kit cost under 40 bucks. So if you have all your servos, a motor, ESC, and batteries, and TX and RX, you know, this is definitely the cheapest route. Basically, they give you the airframe here, both wings obviously, and a carbon spar. They give you all this stuff comes pre-decaled, so you don't have to worry about stickers and stuff like that if you like that. All the push rods, there's only two technically, but there's a push rods already pre-installed. So basically all that's required of you when buying a kit, this is a hole that I just made here for a camera, but so don't worry about that. So all that you really have to worry about is the wiring and just, you know, gluing all your servos in and things like that, and just getting all your mixes set up. I'll show you a look underneath. So magnets, so really strong. I'll show you. Awesome. I mean, you could almost, I can actually pick the plane up by this. So that's awesome. Not going to come off. Inside, try to focus, tons of room. I mean, this thing literally goes all the way back to the tail. It's hollowed out all the way in there, so that is great. Huge improvement over the Easy Star as far as the body payload areas. And then all the way up front, you can see up there I've got a battery thrown up there. One thing, since this plane is technically recommended with a smaller battery than what I'm using a 2200. They actually design it with a ton of weight for a ballast that comes in hot glued. Here's all the washers that are actually hot glued in there. So they stack them all up and throw them in the front of the nose, and it's unnecessary weight if you're gonna have bigger battery. So I mean, I just literally yanked that out and it pulled out fine. So something that you'll see if you are flying with a smaller battery, you might need to leave it in there. So anyways, I would suggest just going with a bigger battery. You're replacing the weight of that ballast with just longer flight times by a bigger battery. So that's probably what you should do. They also gave me a little motor mount. I can't show you right now, obviously, but it's like these little slivers of wood, and with two screws from the back, and they just screw right into your motor already. So I just hot glued it in there, and so it's plenty strong. So instead of routing these ESC wires through the inside here is already molded out a groove inside, and it feeds all the way down into the fuselage here. I opted not to use that because I might need to pull this ESC out later, and I don't want to have to dismantle the entire fuselage to get it out of there. So yeah, I was just trying to think ahead a little bit on the ESC wiring and just, you know, what I'm expecting to do with my power setup here. The other downside of mounting your motor like this is that you literally can't retrieve your motor out of here unless you pull that whole motor mount out, which, I mean, it's just glue. It's just like I just threw a whole bunch of hot glue in there. So I mean, I could technically yank that out, but as opposed to previous ways I've done it, it's just make my own little motor mount and screw it in using that little what are they called? I want to show you. These are little mounts right there. I just made a custom plate for the old version. I used to fly an Easy Star, and I just would mount the motor on the back of that. So if I needed the motor for another plane, just unscrew it from the that little motor mount I just showed you, and the motor's free. So this is a little different, obviously. Hoping I don't need to take this motor off anytime soon, though. So I'm about to go mate in this. I'm going to show you what this little hole's for. So I noticed that there's a little step right here of extra foam. I'm using that so I can carve down into that section there. I kind of poked through, but it's not a big deal. So I have this little Venom Snake Eye camera, and I'm planning on it fits super snug. I cut it out that way so it's, I mean, you can barely get it in there, but okay, there you go. So, I mean, this thing is, I mean, I can shake it all day. That's not going to come out. So, I'm going to throw that up on here. Cool. I mean, literally snaps in really well. I mean, huge improvements over the Easy Star, this plane. So, really, only good things to say about it. The little, I guess there is one thing that's kind of bad. These little linkages that they sent with here, I mean, this one broke. It's, I mean, granted, they give them to you in the kit, but I mean, there's supposed to be a little thing that goes across there. You can kind of see the white part. It's supposed to actually have a little male end that goes across and then connects up to that hole. I mean, that just snapped off. I didn't even do anything. It just kind of broke off when I put it on. So I mean, those could be better for sure. But I mean, overall, I mean, super inexpensive kit for what you get. I mean, it's a lot of bang for your buck. So anyways, I'm gonna go maiden this. Hopefully after I'm done talking here, I'll be able to transition over into some onboard flight footage. So, and it is nighttime right now, so you'll probably just see a bunch of lights. So anyways, yeah, let's go do this.